Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Ridenauer, and I want to thank you for joining me tonight as we learn about tower gardens and just really how you can use them and implement them in your life and how they work. So first, one might be thinking, who are tower gardens for? So my kids use my tower garden, and they're as easy to put together as a puzzle. My 8-year-old and my 13-year-old have helped me set up my tower garden numerous times, including putting on the lights. So not only are they for the young, but they're also for our elderly. They are a good height, so you don't have to worry about bending over, picking vegetables, worrying about your knees or your back. This is my friend Kim's mom and her son helping out with her tower garden farm, and it really can be for anybody, no matter what their age is. This is a picture of a typical soil garden, and as we all know, typical soil gardens require a lot of work. They require weeding and being out in the sun, a lot of bending over, and a lot of stuff like that that we typically find as grueling hard work, and personally that steered me away from gardening for quite some time. However, when you have a typical soil garden, if you're not constantly taking care of it and you're not watering it and you're not staying on top of your plants and weeding them, they're going to end up dying or getting overgrown by weeds or bugs or anything of the sort. So it can take a lot of factors, outside factors, if you're not being careful and watchful of your plants. With a tower garden, the great thing is that if you were to go on vacation and not water your plants like you would a typical garden, your garden is on a self timer, so you don't have to worry about it dying. It will keep watering itself, and your vegetables will be as plump and fresh as they were when you left. I want to tell you that for my tower garden, one day in the summer, the plug for my garden got unplugged some point in the morning. I always check my tower garden in the mornings, and it was fine, and my pH was good, my plants looked good, and I was leaving for the day, so I wanted to make sure everything was good to go. I came home later that afternoon, and my plants were almost like the picture you see on the left. They were shriveled up. They were just so sad, so dead. My heart broke when I came home and saw my tower garden wasn't getting the water supply that it needed throughout the day while the sun was beating on it. I thought for sure I lost my entire tower. But lo and behold, I plugged it back in, and within just a couple hours, it livened back up and it was perfectly fine and it was fresh and everything. And I was able to eat off of it regardless of what had happened in that day. That is not something that would happen with your typical soil garden. So just a few facts about the tower garden is that it has 98% less water. The water that it uses in the bin is recycled water, and it keeps recycling through, and you'll sometimes fill it up depending on where your garden is located, if it's outside, due to water evaporating and stuff like that. But for the most part, the water is recycled through the garden over and over and over. So you're using the same water. It takes 90% less space. So you really only need a 3x3 or a 2x2 space, depending on which unit you get. If you look on the right, that would be the Tower Garden Flex, that would need a 3x3 space. And the Tower Garden Home on the left, that would need a 2x2 space. You get 30% more yield, and that's due to the mineral tonic that we use that is made from earth materials. So it's all natural, no synthetic anything in there to help the food grow faster and to grow more lush. So it does grow 3 times faster, and it's safe and nutritious. A couple of reasons to why you want to use a tower garden, besides the fact that I think that they look awesome and they're beautiful. Some people have lack of water availability in some areas that they live in. Maybe they live in, a super busy city. They live in an apartment or high rise, and they don't have the ability to have running water for even a garden or anything like that. Environmental changes. Look at how soil costs or soil depletion has happened, and the cost of food these days. It's gone up, and that's something that you can't control. The tower garden can be used year round in different weather, depending on where you're living. So it'll go indoors or outdoors. I don't want to make it seem like it can be outside in the cold, but if you have 4 seasons, you do want to bring your garden inside, but either way, you can still grow year round. You don't have to worry about GMO. You don't have to worry about herbicides or pesticides or anything artificial on your food. You can determine what you're planting, what you're getting, and what goes on your food. Here's an image of a 16 tower garden farm that you can see over on the right. And The picture on the left is how the food in the tower garden gets started. You plant your seeds in the rock wool, and we'll kind of go into this and show a little up close picture later on. And then once they start sprouting into seedlings, then you'll take them from that rock wool in that tray and place it into your tower. I'm just going to play a little clip here by Tim Blank, the creator of the tower garden.
Well, I grew up in Western North Dakota, and if you've ever been to Western North Dakota, you'll know that it's a place often referred to as God's country, because it's a place where the bison still roam free, and agriculture dominates the landscape. And I guess that's what where the seed of agriculture started in me. Growing up in a family with 5 siblings, we didn't get to take a vacation every summer, but by the time I was in high school, my family had the opportunity to take a vacation to Walt Disney World. And if you can imagine what an experience that was. And out of all the 4 theme parks at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, the one that really stood out with me was Epcot, because Epcot was the place of the future. It was very inspirational to see all the different nationalities working together and all the different technologies. And the place that stood out the most to me was a special ride at Epcot called The Land. It was an hour-long backstage behind the scenes tour where they grew food crops from all over the world hydroponically. The thing I loved most about that backstage tour at The Land was it inspired me. I knew in that moment what I was going to go to school for and what I was going to do with the rest of my life. So I went and got a degree in horticulture, and eventually I came back to work as an advanced intern at Walt Disney World. I was very blessed to get an internship at The Land at Epcot. Thousands of people applied for that position, and they only selected 10. And used that opportunity to grow and develop my skills in hydroponic food production. And long after my day was ended, I volunteered in the various horticulture disciplines like plant pathology, entomology, biotechnology to learn everything I could about hydroponic food production and this technology. Because even though I didn't have a master's degree in these various research disciplines, these doctors saw the potential in me and hired me on after my internship to conduct high-end scientific research with both NASA and the Department of Energy right there at The Land at Epcot. During that first 7 years at The Land, I had an opportunity to learn just about everything that related to hydroponic and aeroponic food production. I got to learn about beneficial insects, microorganisms, plant pathology, biotechnology, and allowed me to move into greenhouse operations manager of the entire land greenhouse facility in 2000, and I kept that position until 2005. In retrospect, I think it was those 12 years with the Walt Disney World Company that gave me the wisdom and the experience to go out and do something on my own. In 2005, I felt like that was a great opportunity to launch Future Growing, which was a company that would take very similar technologies and make them available for everybody, whether they be a commercial grower or for an individual homeowner who wanted to grow food right in their own backyard. So over the earlier years at the company, we developed the world's first patented vertical aeroponic technology called the Tower Garden. The Tower Garden can grow everything from a head of lettuce to an edible herb to a beautiful beefsteak tomato. And the idea was that every single crop that a homeowner would want to grow could be done right in the comfort of their own backyard. On the commercial side of our vertical aeroponic food production business, we've set up many urban and rooftop farms around the country, and even in many cases, at some of the world's first of its kinds. For example, going back to 2009, we had the world's first certified green building with aquaponic and aeroponic food production on the roof. In 2010, we opened Manhattan's first aeroponic roof-to-table food farm that supported the restaurant down below. And now in 2011, at the Chicago O'Hare Airport, we opened the world's very first aeroponic food farm in an airport terminal. And all that food is used to feed many of the 67 restaurants at the O'Hare Airport. This dream I had that was rooted all the way back to my childhood about doing something for humanity, finding a better way of growing food, is finally coming to fruition. Seeing these projects come alive excites me more than it ever did. I have a hard time sleeping at night. I can't wait to get that next aeroponic tower garden project out there. So living life to the plus is living your passion. I wake up every single day doing what I love to do, and that is helping people grow fresh, healthy food right in their own backyard.
I love that story. I love hearing how it starts and just the how it's all evolved. The next clip we're going to watch is how the garden actually works.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
So that's how a tower garden actually works. The insides of it and everything like that. So you might be wondering, what can I grow? If I'm going to, invest in one of these, what are the things that I can grow? You can literally grow just about anything as long as it's not grapes or like a tree plant. So, obviously fruit trees, grapes on a vine, or like potatoes and carrots and root vegetables. So that leaves open all of your herbs, your parsley, your cilantro, your dill, your onions, stevia, even. I know so many people who use that for their tea. You've even got fruits like watermelon, cantaloupes, strawberries, and tomatoes. And then, of course, all your vegetables and your lettuces, which you can't forget. So you've got a wide variety of lettuces that I didn't even know were brands of lettuce before I started tower gardening. And then, of course, you can do beans and peas and peppers and squash. And it's really endless, the amount of vegetables that you can grow. So kind of talking about where I talked about the seedlings or the seeds in the rock wool. This is how you would start a tower garden. You would take your seeds that come either with the tower garden when you purchase it. It does come with some, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. Or you can purchase your own seeds from whatever trusted source that you have. You will plant them in the rock wool. You fill this tray up with about couple inches of water, and then you wait for them to sprout and just come into seedlings. Once they sprout into seedlings, then you're going to place those into your tower garden pods, and they'll grow from there. As you saw in the video with Tim Blank, there's a million different possibilities of where the tower gardens are these days. This is commercial and urban farming, where you can see there are just tons of gardens being used commercially. And we just locally where I live ended up getting one in our downtown area for restaurants. It's so beautiful. You can use it residentially and for consumers. So again, the restaurant to table, you can do backyards, patios. You don't really have to have a whole lot of space. Like I said, 3x3 or 2x2. So if you have a balcony or a studio apartment, it will still fit. Many people keep it in their basement. Some people keep it on their patios, in their kitchens, in their bedrooms. Like I said, not a whole lot of room. Communities and schools. This is one of my favorite parts about the tower garden system, is that you can get this put into boys and girls clubs. You can get it into public schools and private schools. There is a curriculum that comes with the tower garden, so it can be used as a STEM resource for kids in schools. There's even a program through the boys and girls clubs where garden can be free. So there's lots of possibilities in being able to integrate this with our kids, which helps and is proven that when the kids are in the process of seeing how this works and growing their own food, they're more apt to actually want to be able to eat the food and eat healthier because they grew the food themselves. So let's just compare the two models that we have. You can see here we have the Tower Garden Home on the left-hand side and the Tower Garden Flex. A Tower Garden home is going to be designed primarily for indoors. It will need the LED lights if you're growing indoors. Even if you have massive windows or your house is even made fully of windows, you're still going to need the LED lights. I get asked that a lot, and you're just not getting enough heat from the sun through the windows that the LED lights provide. So you will need those. This, you can grow your baby greens. It's got a microgreen port on top where you can plant your herbs and things like that on the top. And then of course, any of your other, salads or other vegetables that you prefer to have. This, the reservoir on this on the bottom is 13 gallons. The wheels are built in on this one, so it is really convenient for if you're wanting to move it from room to room or across your kitchen or something like that. As far as the Tower Garden Flex, this is a 20-gallon reservoir. It does not come with wheels, but you can buy wheels separately. I like this one, and this is one I have because I like the wider base. I like it for tomatoes and heavier plants such as your fruits, your melons, things like that that might need, the base to sit on. But either one, it still works, and you can get a microgreen port for this one as well and just attach it on the top. The LED lights can be attached to this one. It does not come with this model because this one can go outdoors. So if you want the lights, you can just add that and bring it indoors as well. So there you can see the two systems next to each other again. And it really does come down to preference and what you're going to be growing and where you're wanting to keep it and the climate of where you live. So this image shows a 6-month analysis of crops, but this was done, I want to say maybe in 2017. So quite a few years ago, back before we even saw the significant increase in produce like we're seeing these days. So the 6-month yield from this chart right here is showing that you can get $796 worth of produce with an initial investment of $692 for your tower garden. So it is definitely going to pay off in the long run, especially now that we're seeing the price of produce increasing so drastically. I can tell you right now, I spend probably at least that amount in way less time of 6 months. So I'll go into pricing. We have Canada pricing and we have US pricing. So in Canada, the Tower Garden Flex growing system, you will get everything you see pictured there. And I know it's kind of small, but you get your rock wool, you get your seeds, you get your pump, you get your mineral and tonic blend, you get everything you need to start growing immediately. And that's going to be $62.50 per month. All of these payments are interest free. You can get the Tower Garden Home. Without the lights, it's $67.50 per month. So if you want to add the lights onto either one of those, you want to add about $32 on that for the LED lights. The Tower Garden Family, that's about $195.84 per month. Now, let me just comment on the Tower Garden Family. If you're a family of probably 3 or 4 or more, you would want to invest in a Tower Garden Family. I wish I would have invested in the Tower Garden Family, and I have a family of 4 just because of having the multiple towers for the things that I want to grow. I want, one for my lettuces, we eat a lot of salad, one for my vegetables, and then one for my fruits. Doing it this way as well, you get additional accessories and tonic blends with it that ends up being a lot cheaper than if you were to buy 3 separate Tower Garden Flex. So it really comes down to the needs of your family, but the Tower Garden Family is the most cost efficient. And then there's the Tower Garden Community, which is 12 gardens for $627.10 per month. For our US pricing, same options. We have the Tower Garden Flex growing system for $51.67 per month. We have the Tower Garden Home for $55.83 per month, but add the lights for about $32 onto that. And the Tower Garden Family for $166.67, and the Community for $520 per month. Again, these are all interest-free. You can pay them off whenever you would like. You can make payments for some of the time, pay it off. There's no penalty or anything like that. So just a little bit about the company that makes the Tower Garden. The company is called Juice Plus, and they've been around inspiring healthy living since the 70s. Juice Plus has a very simple product line. They met together with a naturopath and were trying to figure out a way to get families to eat more fruits and vegetables. And they came up with this amazing process of taking fruits and vegetables, drying them, and putting them into a capsule form. So this is where you can see on the left-hand side, we have our Juice Plus capsules, and I'll show you a close picture in the next slide of what those are. And then we also have our Juice Plus Complete Protein. This is one of my best protein powders, hands down, that I've ever tasted. I'm very involved in fitness community and as a holistic nutritionist. This protein is hands down one of the best proteins that you can have for anybody of any age. It's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's low glycemic, and it's hormone friendly, it's gut friendly. It is good for breastfeeding mothers, pregnant mothers, kids, the elderly. It's a great addition to have into a regimen. And then, of course, your Tower Gardens. Here's a picture of what is in the Juice Plus capsules. As a nutritionist, I can speak to how many people do not get in proper nutrition, including myself and my family. And I can tell you this variety of fruits and vegetables is beautiful for me to see, but knowing that I can get that in my system, in my family system, in my client's system daily, just by taking a capsule, is one of the most amazing things I've ever heard of. And let alone, the how our produce has, the nutrients have been depleted over the years from soil and chemicals and lack of being vine ripened. Just the simple fact that I don't even like the taste of some of these. So I wouldn't be eating these plain on my own if I had the choice. So the fact that I don't even have to taste some of these and I still get the nutrients, it's amazing. And then just a couple more images here you can see about the Tower Garden. The one on the left is the Tower Garden Flex in my living room. That gives you an idea of really how much space it takes up. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And then you can see in the middle and the right is our dear friend Kim and Anna and their produce, and just how big and luscious the leaves are on their Tower Gardens. So at this point, we do want to invite you to join us. You can do so by becoming a Juice Plus customer, and the person who invited you here to this call would be more than happy to take care of you and see what your nutritional needs are. Or if you can think of 3 to 5 people that you would be able to share any of these products with that would benefit from these as well, you could also, for $52 a year, sign up to partner with Juice Plus and make a couple $100 a month doing so. I know when I first started, it was not my intent to do anything with the Juice Plus company. I just wanted to share it with a couple people. I loved the product myself and what it did for my family. Now here I am several years later enjoying a significant income from the Juice Plus company and the products that it's helping our family with. So if you have any questions, please get with the person who invited you here, and thanks for watching.